Hello and welcome back to my channel Dinar and Dong Updates. Can $200 turn into a fortune? The Vietnamese Dong investment buzz explained. Imagine turning a mere $200 into a life-changing sum of money. It may sound like a financial fairy tale, but growing speculation around the Vietnamese Dong VND has sparked renewed interest in this exact possibility. While some dismiss the idea as pure hype, others see a real opportunity grounded in economic trends, historical patterns, and global banking signals. Let's take a closer look at what's fueling the excitement, and whether there's any truth to the idea that a few $100s could potentially change your life. Understanding the Vietnamese Dong. The Vietnamese Dong is the official currency of Vietnam, a fast-developing Southeast Asian country. For years, the Dong has held a relatively low value in the global exchange market. At the time of writing, one US dollar exchanges for approximately 23,000 Vietnamese Dong. That means for $200 you could purchase over 4.6 million Dong. The appeal of this kind of exchange rate is simple. If the Dong were to increase significantly in value, or be revalued by the Vietnamese government or through market adjustments, anyone holding Dong purchased at today's rates could see a substantial return. What is a currency revaluation? A revaluation occurs when a country's central bank increases the value of its currency in relation to other global currencies. This can happen for several reasons, including improved economic performance, stronger trade relationships, or changes in monetary policy. It's the opposite of a devaluation, where a currency loses value. In theory, if Vietnam decides to strengthen the Dong to reflect its growing economy, those holding Dong today would be able to exchange them at a much higher rate in the future. This is the scenario driving investors to consider buying now, while the cost is low. Why Vietnam? Vietnam's economic growth in the past decade has been remarkable. The country has become a global manufacturing hub, often referred to as the next China, due to its low labor costs and export-driven economy. Tech giants like Samsung, Intel, and Apple now have significant operations in Vietnam. The country has also entered multiple free trade agreements, boosting its global economic influence. With GDP growth consistently outpacing many developed countries and an expanding middle class, some analysts argue that Vietnam's currency is undervalued relative to its economic progress. If the Vietnamese government or global markets decide to correct this imbalance, the Dong could appreciate. Rumors versus reality. While the concept of the Dong revaluation has been around for years, recent chatter has added fuel to the fire. Reports have surfaced claiming that major banks, particularly in the US, have begun updating systems and training employees to handle a surge in foreign currency exchanges involving the Dong. While these reports are largely unverified, they have sparked speculation that financial institutions may be preparing for a large-scale currency event. However, it's essential to separate speculation from fact. The Vietnamese government has not announced any official plans to revalue the Dong. No central bank or financial authority has confirmed any forthcoming change. As such, this investment opportunity remains speculative. Still, some believe that the rising economic conditions and behind-the-scenes banking activity suggest that a shift is possible, even imminent. The risk and reward equation. As with any investment, the possibility of high returns comes with risk. Currency speculation is notoriously unpredictable. Factors like inflation, trade deficits, foreign reserves, and political stability all play a role in determining exchange rates. A revaluation could occur, or it might not. Investing in the Dong today in hopes of a future revaluation is not a guaranteed path to wealth. It should be treated as a high-risk, high-reward proposition. Financial experts recommend that individuals only invest money they can afford to lose. Think of it as a long shot, similar to purchasing a lottery ticket or investing in a volatile stock. But that's also what makes it so appealing to many. For the price of a weekend dinner or a pair of sneakers, people are willing to take a chance on something that might pay off big. What would a revaluation look like? Let's walk through a hypothetical scenario. Suppose you buy $200 worth of Vietnamese Dong at the current rate and receive roughly 4.6 million VND. If the Dong is revalued so that 1 USD equals 1,000 VND, a huge shift, but not impossible, you would suddenly be holding a currency stash worth $4,600. If the revaluation is even more dramatic, say 1 USD equals 100 VND, that same $200 investment could become $46,000. Of course, these examples are extreme and used to illustrate the point. Any real revaluation would likely be more modest. Still, even a small adjustment in the Dong's exchange rate could offer meaningful returns for early buyers. Preparing for the possibility. If you're intrigued by the potential of a Vietnamese Dong revaluation, what should you do? Here are a few practical steps to consider. 1. Buy from a trusted source. Ensure you purchase Dong from a reputable currency exchange or bank. Beware of counterfeit bills or shady sellers offering deals that seem too good to be true. 2. Verify your currency. Check the authenticity and condition of your Dong notes. Some banks or exchanges might reject damaged or unverified bills if a revaluation occurs. 3. Talk to your bank. Ask your local bank whether they handle foreign currencies like the Dong. Some banks currently do, and others may begin offering the service if demand increases. 4. Stay informed. Follow credible financial news sources, monitor developments in Vietnam's economy, and keep an eye on global currency markets. If a revaluation does happen, the forex market will react fast. 5. Have a plan. If you're fortunate enough to profit from a revaluation, speak with a financial advisor to manage the windfall wisely. Too often, people who come into sudden wealth lose it just as quickly due to poor planning. Hope in uncertain times. One of the reasons this kind of opportunity resonates with so many people is because of the current global economic climate. Inflation is up, wages have stagnated in many places, and people feel like their money buys less every year. The idea that a small, affordable investment could lead to financial freedom is appealing, not just for the potential profits, but for the hope it brings. The buzz around the Dong is part of a larger trend. People are looking for alternative ways to secure their financial futures, from cryptocurrencies to gold, and now foreign currencies like the Dong. There's growing interest in diversifying beyond traditional investments. The power of public sentiment. As more people talk about the Dong, interest continues to grow. Online forums, social media, YouTube channels, and blogs are filled with discussions about the possibility of revaluation. This increased visibility has, in itself, started to affect the perception of the currency's potential. Market psychology plays a significant role in currency movements. While fundamentals matter, so does momentum. As more individuals and institutions begin to speculate on the Dong, demand rises, creating a feedback loop that can influence actual value over time. Final thoughts. Could it really happen? At the end of the day, the idea that a $200 investment could make you a millionaire is an exaggeration for most people. But could that same $200 turn into $2,000, $10,000, or even more if the Vietnamese Dong revalues? It's not impossible. The key is to be realistic. Understand that you're betting on an outcome that may or may not occur. Don't fall for scams, rumors, or promises of guaranteed returns. But also, don't ignore the opportunity outright. If approached wisely and cautiously, investing in the Dong could be one part of a broader strategy to diversify and potentially grow your wealth. No one can predict the future, but being prepared, informed, and thoughtful puts you in the best position to take advantage of unexpected opportunities. Whether the Dong revaluation becomes a reality or remains a hopeful theory, It has already sparked a powerful conversation about financial independence, risk-taking, and the pursuit of possibility.